I'm happy to take your questions on whatever you want to ask.
If you go into a store nowadays, everything's made in China and Japan. What can be done so some of the stuff we buy is made in the good old USA?
If you're talking about low-wage jobs, which is the kind of goods you're talking about, that's the reason they're being made somewhere else, because people are working for a fraction of what people work for in the United States of America. What we have to do is have trade agreements that are fair. We have to have country of origin labeling. And then in the United States, looking forward, we got to have the most educated, most innovative workforce on the planet. It's absolutely crucial. And this comes from somebody whose dad, my father worked in a textile mill his whole life, as all of you know. I've talked about it a million times. But he worked in a textile mill his whole life, and I saw all of what you're describing. I saw what it did to him. I saw what it did to him. I saw what it did to my community. I saw what happened when the mill closed. I mean, you got, a 55-year-old man who's supported his family his whole life and worked hard, sometimes 6 days a week, second and third shift, and all of a sudden their job's gone. It does something to a man or woman's dignity when that happens. It's not just money. It's about self-respect. And we need a president of the United States who understands that, who feels it. I'll never forget when I was younger and helping pay my way through school. I worked in the mill, and I had a lot, the schoolboy always gets the nastiest job in the mill. And so I mopped out from under looms in the weave room, and I cleaned out overhead in the weave room. It was a nasty job, but I had a job and it helped pay for me to go to school. But I'll never forget, there was an old guy working in the weave room. He was probably about 50, 55 years old. He had his overalls on, and he said to me one day, he said, "Are you going to college?" This is when I was still in high school. He said, "Are you going to college?" And I said, "I hope so." And he said, "Son, you don't want to be doing what I've been doing all your life. You need to go to school." And that stuck with me forever. I think it is really important to have a president of the United States who understands that view, who understands it up close. I did these jobs for a few years, but these were really good men and women who worked in that mill with my dad, who I think are worth every bit as much as any president of the United States. And they deserve to be treated with dignity and respect. And they deserve a chance when they're hit by things like trade and jobs going somewhere else. And we need a president who will stand up for them. That's what we need. Thank you all very much for coming here.